Hello and welcome back to the Stack Cash AMA. Today is our, I think it's our eighth AMA, eighth in a row. So we're happy to have you all back with us. If you aren't aware, I'm Muddy Mo, board member here at Stack Cash, and I have two other board members that's on with me today. One you guys are familiar with, and one you guys might not be so familiar with. So I'll let those guys introduce themselves.
What's going on, everybody? Vin Man here. How's everybody doing today?
Hey there, I'm Little Fish. First time doing an AMA with anybody, so yeah, hope it goes well.
Very
Awesome.
good, very good. How you guys feeling today?
A little tired, but I'm pushing through. Took my vitamins. I'm good.
There you go. There you go. And Little Fish, we're happy to have you on. You guys might not know Little Fish is an integral part of our board. And I know he's from across the pond from some of us. So we're just happy to have him on. He has a lot of good insights. So we should have fun today.
Absolutely.
So last time, just some house cleaning. As you come in, please make sure you hit the like. And also, if you're on YouTube watching, please hit that red button, hit that subscribe. If you want to stay in tune on not just our AMAs, but we'll have more videos. We also have All About Stack Cash, which is essentially a video format of all of our white papers. Please feel free to look that up on YouTube. Also, if you're watching on Twitter, definitely if you haven't already, add and follow us on Twitter. And not only just that, share it with somebody else. This project as a layer 2 that we're built to be is going to be very expansive. So you're still early and you're getting you got to learn more to do more to earn more. So that's where we are right now, and we're just happy to have you guys with us, and we're just moving along. I say this all the time. We're like, the Stack Cash board and committee. We're like the duckling on the water. Up top it might look calm. We we might have it might seem like we have it all figured out on the AMA, but believe me, under the water we are just pedaling away. So but it's a great thing about it is we're a community project. So this is for you guys, this is for us. Our motto is for DeFi users by DeFi users. So just know that this is the project in the DeFi space that hasn't been seen, and it's really offer you guys an opportunity to really be in it with us and add your input as well. So today we'll be talking about what makes Stack Cash a first mover. And what I mean, if you don't know what first mover means, a lot of things in the DeFi space have basically already been created. So what we have here is, we have some aspects to this project. Now, remember I said it's by DeFi users. So it's just, just like you're using these other projects, we are too. But, to add on to that, we've had some specific parts of our project that not only just is new to the world that has never been seen before, but we also have parts of our project that makes us especially more community based. And I know a lot of people love our CBC. We talked about that last couple times, and we'll definitely touch on that today. So,
Absolutely. Good points. And I like that phrase right there. You got learn more, do more to earn more. That's awesome. I like that.
Get some snaps on that one, huh, V?
Yeah.
Very good, very good. All right. So let's so first let me just kind of, again, we do house cleaning first. So I'll just kind of talk about some basics and then we'll get into the meat and potatoes, so to speak. So let me present here. And also go ahead.
No, it's funny. I had some meat and potatoes last night.
Yep. Yes, sir. Always a nice and hearty meal. And that's kind of how I see Stack Cash is, we're that hearty meal. Like we put something on you that's gonna last, And this project is meant to be long term, just like that meal you had last night, Ben. So
yeah.
and as you guys come in, even if you're listening to it on a playback, please feel free to leave a comment. We are very, very, open to answering questions, and especially if you want to come into our Discord or our Telegram, we'll leave a light on for you. There's always somebody around to kind of help you out and answer questions. So,
yep.
All right. So as always, here is our link tree, and this is where you can get all the information that you'll need. Some people also, have asked, what about this specific part of you guys' project? What about the tokenomics? What about Cashbox? Well, as you all know, we have basically all of our white paper in video format, so you can come to the link tree to kind of see what you want to look up right here. Also, we have our light paper, and we have all the other information. And trust me, guys, we're going to be adding more and more. You see, we have links to our AMAs down here below as well. So use this kind of as a home base. This will always be around and available as kind of like an information dump, so you guys can stay aware of what's going on within a project and just be in the know.
Yep.
All right.
It's definitely worth visiting there, because you've got some of those your videos on there about sort of the white paper, isn't it? And it's kind of like a video format of the white paper, which is, I think in itself is probably a first mover thing to do, isn't it? Kind of to present the white paper in video form as well as have it written down. And I think, is it just one more video you're going to do there, Mo? And then we'll release the white paper in its entirety.
I love how our board members just fit right in. Exactly. Yes. Thank you, Little Fish. Yeah. So we have one more video to go. I almost missed that. So we have 6 of our All About Stack caches, and these will be around forever. So we have 6 of these videos, and we have one more to go. We've covered the vast majority of the project. But the last thing that's left is, and I know a lot of you guys are going to be interested in this, is the team portion. So how does the team treasuries work, and how does being a team leader benefit yourself, and more likely, more than that, I'm sorry, is your team. So the team members themselves get to be a part of it, and everybody pulls their own weight. So
absolutely.
But Little Fish, that is a very, very good thing you brought up, because today we're talking about how Stack Cash is a first mover. That's a great point you bring up. That is a first mover for the DeFi space. As you guys know, we're veterans, so we've been around, and no project has anything in the video form of their white paper. So very good. Thank you, Little Fish.
Yeah, we touched on that last week too. We were talking about that, and the week before, I believe, it's just being able to listen to the white paper, right, and actually visualize what Mo put together for you, like charts, formats, and numbers and whatnot. I mean, a lot of work's gone into that, and just being able to listen and look at it and then read it, it just cements into your head, right?
Exactly. Very good point, man. And then, kind of to add on to that, a lot of people, like, I got some books that I know that, one of my strong suits, I should say, and I know one of my weaknesses is, I'm a decent reader, but it's the longevity of reading, but I can listen all day. So,
Right.
so
Right.
our white paper will be available. I know some of you guys are readers. Our white paper will be available after part 7 is out. But for now, as Vin said, and as Little Fish said, we do have it in video form. So definitely feel free to check that out. Also, here's our Twitter, and our Twitter is jam-packed with information. If you want to stay in the know, definitely this is another good asset to come and check us out and kind of see what's going on. And as I'll always say this, feel free to interact with us. We'll always respond to you, and we'll always make sure the community's voice is heard.
Yep.
And also,
I want to just throw out there, again, just to remind everybody, go out and check Little Fish's Medium articles that he wrote. They're awesome. He takes time to do them. They're very well explained about the protocol and different aspects of what we got going on. So make sure you go and check those out.
Then here we go again. See, now I will tell you guys this. This is the reason why it's really beneficial to have the board and the DAO and the committee that we have. It has this set up, because where I forget something or I miss something, we have other members that kind of picks up the slack. And then you bring up an excellent point. Little Fish, who's on with us, is an author. So if you guys,
I don't know about that. I'm not sure you can say that about me. But I am just a DeFi user. I have been for the last year or so, and I couldn't think of things that I could bring to the project. But you suggested, well, can you write a Medium article? I gave it a go. So if that makes me an author, then I guess so. But I'm just writing about what I know about the project, and to me, you know, it's one of the things that's great about this project is that really everybody has a little something that they can find within themselves or that they've already got, and then they can bring it to a project. And you know, if you've got stuff that you could bring to this project, then you know, just come and jump in and have a chat with us, because I can say, you know, from my own experience, is very open and very, you know, you can come and bring ideas, and then those ideas get built on or whatever, you know. So we're all here to help each other, really.
Good
I
point.
love it. Yep. Good point. Good point. And you know, I will tell you, like Little Fish, I get what you're saying, but you are definitely a author because I played a little editor. I'm like, no, this is really good.
You're being too kind there, mate.
Very good.
I think we're all becoming something we ain't ever thought we would be, right? Somehow, in
Oh,
some way.
definitely. Yeah.
Exactly, Vin. You know, in working with you guys and working with others on this project, you know, I just realized, you know, it's things that I can do. And I think Stack Cash as a whole, we take on that persona. You know,
Yeah.
this is something we can do as DeFi users. We can, you know, work with multiple developers. We can get multiple ideas from the community.
Yep.
And a lot of other projects. I know we had, I think it's Pete, who's our committee member. He says, "Hey guys, I'm working today, but if I can jump on, I want to talk about, you know, Stack Cash in kind of comparison to some other projects that he's a part of."
Sure.
Some of the things that we offer here, and we're talking first mover, so this is right on point. Some of the things that we offer here is made specifically to make sure that we keep people involved, and not just the DeFi users or even new users, also other projects, and that's significant because you know every project wants to be successful, right? But with our success, we know you have success in the space, so we'll talk more about that to come.
Yeah. And you know, I just want to like shout out to everybody that's done a project, right? Because being on this side of the DeFi space, putting together a project, man, is a lot of work, right? There's a lot of learning to do and whatnot. And I gotta say, you know, even if the project isn't the greatest project that came out, or failed, or struggling right now, but shout out to everybody that's actually doing something. You know what I mean? Because it takes a lot of time, a lot of work. I gotta say it.
Yeah.
Vin, I have to second that. I have to second that. You know, it's all good. And, you know, even myself as an influencer, you know, I understand probably more than most about a lot of these projects, but
Yep.
you just never know until you actually start doing it, like how much goes into it.
Right.
So yeah, Vin, I mean, these other projects, you know, kudos, hats off to them for what they've done.
Yep.
And then hopefully we can carry that torch and be a DeFi project that can last a long time in the space
Absolutely. Yep.
and mostly make some gains. That's what you guys are here for.
That's
So,
right. That's it.
and also on top of that, you know, I think we said this last week. We talked to developers, and you know, developers say like, you guys have a lot here. This is a well thought out project, and I always say, you know, it's not simple, but we want to make it easy for you, if that
Right.
makes sense.
Yep.
So, you know, we understand that, you know, behind the scenes and under the hood, you know, you guys might not understand how the car works and, you know, what the engine does, how it connects to this and that. But the main thing is when you put the key in and turn it, it's easy for you to drive it. So
Absolutely.
good. And also just last on the house cleaning here. Here's our website that we will be promoting very, very, very soon. We're just, again, I told you guys, we're, you know, crossing our T's and dotting our I's and making sure, you know, we measure 3 times and cut once. So, you know, here's the Stack Cash website, which we'll promote soon. But here's just a quick glance of, you know, some of the things that we're going to have to offer. And we'll also have another opportunity to kind of talk about the moment we put out the website. So it's almost kind of gonna be like drinking through a water hose, because you know, once that snowball gets to going downhill, it just keeps picking up steam and picking up steam. So it'll be back to back to back things that'll be coming at you guys in a good way. So
Yep. Good point. Yeah, we've been doing a lot of work on that too recently, and tweaking it and whatnot, making sure it's, you know, because we want to be perfectionists. We say this all the time, you know, nobody's perfect, but we want to try to get there, right?
Exactly, Vin. Exactly. It's not gonna stop me from trying. I know I'm not perfect,
That's
but
right.
I'm definitely gonna try. Um, so here, again, just to kind of review, especially for my new people who might not have been familiar with this and haven't looked at the other videos yet. The stack token is, pretty much the catalyst or the backbone of Stack Cash. And it's a reflect token, meaning you can hold it in your wallet and make more. But even more than that, the stack token is essentially, what powers everything else with the entire protocol. And we'll talk a little bit about our launch and some specifics and what makes us kind of first movers on that part as well. But one thing about the stack token that's really great is that it's fair. I look at other projects in the space, around the space, or have been a part of other projects. And the one thing is, man, if I was a part of that team, I would do this. Or people always say, hey, that dev or that leader of that project should do this. Well, in this, as far as fairness, well, with the stack token, nobody that you hear, no board member, nobody in the world has access to cheap or early stack. So it's going to be available at the same time. That is literally fair for everyone. So
Yep. And you know what happens when that doesn't happen, and you get these pre sales and whatnot, and what happens is it launches, and you know price is going to go up. Obviously, most of the time it does anyhow, and they're going to just get dumped on, and that's what we're going to avoid. We don't want nobody getting dumped on over here. So definitely a fair launch here. It's very
exactly.
important. You don't want to get dumped on, because I mean, it's happened over and over again. And you know what? I've made money on that doing it myself, because I know it was going to happen. So why not take advantage of it? And that's what being part of a DeFi veteran in the space is. You learn things, and we're going to take this knowledge and make it different for our project, so it doesn't happen to you guys that are investing with us.
Van, very very well said. Exactly. We don't want this project to get dumped on. Oh, the dev dumped this. And another thing is we don't want to make excuses. Oh well, the project failed because somebody sold their tokens.
Mm,
No. So
right,
we want to keep it fair and have everybody be on the equal playing field, not
right.
just for an entire protocol, but even within team treasury. So within your own teams, there's fairness and there's voting and so forth and so on. So well said, Vin. Well said. And last but not least, on the website here is the cash token. As you guys know, this is where kind of a lot of the fun happens. So, a lot of projects, I'll tell you as a DeFi vet, these projects, you come compound or withdraw and you go home every day
Mm,
and you just look at the price.
right.
Well, here, especially, I know we have Little Fish on. I'm happy to have him because he has a lot of great ideas, Vin too, on, what we can do to make this more interactive. So we'll have, especially with our cash box, but we'll have this as an interactive DeFi project. So um, not only will you come and have some fun, but you also stay and come back. And that's the main thing is
Yep.
retaining you guys' attention and having multiple facets that helps you guys earn
Yep. Yep. And
multiple
then you got
options.
these projects, they got this auto compound, and then you don't even have to go to the damn site and check what. Like, I want to see what I'm doing every day on my project and my investments. You know what I'm saying? So, all right. I mean,
Mhm.
maybe you like auto compounding. You don't have a lot of time all the time, but still, man, you got to interact. You got to show up. You got to see what's going on. You got to stay on top of everything.
Exactly. And now you know what, Van, you bring up a great point because with Cashbox, that's where you definitely, to your point, you're gonna have to be active, every four
Mhm.
days at least.
Yeah.
Just come on in and just make sure you can, if you want to withdraw every 4 days, there's no problem with us.
Right. Right.
But if you want to set it and forget it, I'll tell you the stack token is built for that.
Yep.
um at our VC this Wednesday. And also please, make sure you understand we have VCs, voice chats on Wednesdays in our Telegram. So feel free to join the Telegram to kind of take part in those. But we had someone talking about the older, I think it was Doc, another one of our board members was talking about the older generations and what they
Yep.
want to do and how they want to make their gains. And they love
Right.
Bitcoin
Yep.
for the ones that's in crypto. And I will tell you, our stack token is similar in a lot of ways. And it's even better because not only do you just hold it and it appreciates through our autonomous value volume, which we'll talk about, but it essentially, appreciates and you get more of it as it goes up in price. So essentially the opposite of how most things work. You know, most things don't allow you to get more of it and become more expensive. So
Right.
that's so that's
Yep.
how we built this project. Yep. Well, that cut you off, and I didn't mean to cut you off. Sorry.
I was just agreeing with you totally.
Very good. All right. So guys, so before I pull up the next screen, let's just kind of have a chat. So, you guys are, behind the scenes. So you guys know all the things that has went into the Stack Cash protocol and what we've gotten so far. Tell me about the first mover portion of this project that you're most excited about.
Oh, CBC. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, just that utility alone, just building upon you unboxing your cash there, and then you can just build on top of that to get some blue chip tokens. I mean, yeah, I mean, and it just even if you just want to throw it into cache as well, that's another awesome feature that I like as well. So, but yeah, these utilities we have, I'm excited about CBC personally because I know it's just going to grow. I can see more and more blue chips getting in there, and other DeFi projects maybe wanting to hop in there. So yeah, that's what I'm excited about.
Okay, I like that, Vin. I like that. Yeah, CBC. And
Mhm.
we can jump into that. That is literally a first mover for just Stack Cash.
Yeah.
Um, you know, and I think we say this a lot, but we're all in other stuff. We all hold Bitcoin and other blue chip tokens.
Yep.
Not only just that, we have other DeFi projects that we're a part of,
Yep.
but why not have a project that can both earn for us and as well as almost like a mutual fund help us in other ways. So I love
Hmm.
that. Love that, man. We'll
Yeah.
talk about that.
And I love the fact that you have to come through our cash box, you know what I mean, to get into it, where you can't just come in here and farm and leave, you know what I'm saying? So you have to interact, you
Mm,
have to be part of the cash box system. So I love that too.
mm. Very, very well said, Vin. Yes. So, and that was tough because I know a lot of people love farming, right? They
Yep.
love
Yep.
coming in off the street, farming and leaving, and
Right.
leaving the
Yep.
farms, and the APRs usually go down.
Right. But it's going to
Um,
help our sustainability. This is what we're looking out for. This is what we're trying to change in these DeFi projects. Sustainability. We're helping the community here. Not everybody's going to be 100% on board with it, but in the long run, I think they'll see the vision.
Exactly, and I agree with you on that.
Yep.
And to your point with Cashbox, you know, you have to use Cashbox to get to CBC. So if you
Yep.
want to earn these blue chips directly into your wallet, you have to use a Cashbox, which is great. But it's almost kind of like we're forcing you to make gains with us. So you don't have a choice. You can make gains with the farm. We get it, right? But
Yep.
hey, come on here. And also, while you're doing that, we got the sweepstakes that you can be a part of naturally through the cash box. Great,
Yep.
great points, man. Great points.
I think for me, it's the sweepstake is probably a real sweet thing because there's so many opportunities for people to be winning. So it's like the individual sweepstake.
Mhm.
You don't have to be the max payer. There's miscellaneous winners.
Yep.
You've got the team sweepstake. So everybody has that chance. So you've got the couple of miscellaneous team winners, and then there's depends on how many people, how many teams sort of qualify, but you've got this poker style payout. So it's not just going to be one team that wins. You could have multiple teams that win, and I guess if we're honest, I think those gains at the beginning they're going to be small, but at as it gets going, that could be massive wins for people.
Oh, yeah.
Really make really
Yes.
big difference to people's lives. So.
That's right.
Yes. That is an awesome, awesome, great point there, little fish. And I told y'all that's my favorite too. I like the sweepstakes too. Because it's again, you get to control your own destiny. So many times, even with other CD contracts within the space, some other projects, you don't get to control your own destiny. And
Mm.
then even a lot of times you have leadership teams that have changed the project on you, or change portions of the project.
Yep.
Well, to Littlefish's point, with Sweepstack, you can come in there, and it's lossless. You don't have to, it's not spending extra, it's not like gambling going to a casino, right? So just for participating in Cashbox and buying Stack,
Yep.
you have on your own terms the chance to earn, direct BNB or add more to your cash box principal. Very, very
Good.
well put.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean the cash box for me overall, it is the favorite thing is that CD contract of kind of contract that you're putting into, and then the gains that you're going to get, and what they're going to be because they are to a dollar value. So it's that stability of the returns that's the beauty for me, really.
That's it.
And with Cashbox, because you can't just keep compounding everything, you've got to take the profit. So
Right.
You're gonna get your investment back, and you're gonna it's forever increasing in value of the principal. If you compound half and take half, before the end of the year, you'd have gained all your money back,
Yep.
and you would have doubled your principal plus. It's a no-brainer for me, to be honest.
Exactly.
And you bring up a great point, because I think all of us, especially as DeFi veterans, this is a valid, very valid point. We get in the custom of having a lot of hopium, and there's nothing wrong with hoping and wanting the project to last forever and wanting to get gains. We get it, but you gotta take some gains sometimes.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're not in this just to compound, 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 and then unfortunately, in a lot of cases in the past, we've been let down. So,
Yep.
Little Fish, that is a phenomenal point. We come here to take gains, and Cashbox, to your point, it makes you take gains. You don't have a choice but to withdraw. Now, how you want to withdraw that, that's up to you. It's all user custody, but great point there. And Vince said this too. This is Cashbox is kind of like the catalyst on the
Yep.
cash token side. For everything, makes all your dreams come true.
Yep.
So very, very well put.
and I think that's just like how everybody's been feeling like over the last year and a half, 2 years. It's like they want to invest and they want to hurry up, and just keep compound. And what's happening is they missed the train on some of these projects because they failed or they're failing and whatnot. So so us being able to tell you, hey, you have to take out some money and then do what you want with it, but you're not going to have this problem with what do I got to do? Do I got to compound it? Do I got to take it out? How's this project going to run? Blah blah blah. Right. So yeah, good point. Good point that we're making you take gains. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, with hindsight, sorry,
No,
with hindsight, some of those, the first project I got into was Drip. We've all been there, and kind of thinking back, if I had not been compounding at the beginning, I probably would have broken even at least,
Right.
fairly early on, and would have done all right. But it's that hopium, isn't it? That dream, but because of the token price dropping, you just never reach it. So
Right.
you need something stable, and that's what we can offer. That's what we hope to fulfill, really.
Pretty much, because you followed the train. Everybody was doing the same thing. You followed the charts. Yeah, everybody down. They got on the calculator there. Compound this many times, withdraw this many times, blah blah blah. And then what happened? Everybody went from 180 to 30 cents. So
you believe the hype, isn't it? Really.
Yeah.
And I love that you guys compare the project. And I'll be honest, here I really give kudos to what certain projects bring to the space, and not just that, they've also helped to kind of make Stack Cash stronger in a sense.
Right.
That dream, and the thing is we're dreamers too. we here because we had a dream as well.
Right.
But also being veterans, to Little Fish's point, to Vin's point, there's a certain point where that dream starts to go look the other way, and then it gets discouraging. So what we're doing, we're actually, we're kind of building the plane as you fly it. So once you get in, just say you get into the stack launch, you get your stack tokens, and then you say, hey, I want some cash, and you get and mint some cash into Cashbox. From that moment on, not only do you have an opportunity to compound or to even just withdraw every day to get your balance back, because there's multiple different ways to approach it. Some people want to say, hey, I just want an ROI, so I'm gonna get how much I spend back, and then I'll start doing some other things in the project. No problem. but you get the opportunity to do both at the same time. So you both have that dream aspect in the hopium, because we don't want to, we don't want to have no hope. We do
Yep.
have hopes and dreams that we all can get very very wealthy with these projects.
Yep.
But with Stack Cash, you building your principal base at the same time as you're taking rewards out. And not only just that, you get the rewards from Cashbox on your own right. You can use Cache to stake a single
Yep.
asset on your own right? And you also can enter, sweepstack on your own right, or CBC, all that on your own. And
Right.
then you also have an added level with through our team treasuries, which you have to be on the team treasury, and you have to basically get a paycheck every 2 weeks.
Yep.
So
Yep.
um with that team treasury, all that work you've been doing, you've been compounding, you've been doing whatever you need to do, getting your dividends, and you putting your rewards back or whatever. And you still every 2 weeks, based on your team treasury, you get to get some rewards.
Yep.
So just very, very user friendly. Great, great, great point, guys.
And I just want to touch on that too, as well as like with that the drip project there. It's and shout out to drip marketing anyway. Like, shout out to that community because I gotta say, that a lot of marketing. Um, so you know, the thing I wanted to say was oh shoot, a train of thought right there. Blah blah blah. Forgot. My bad.
No, you
I think
good.
I think
No, no,
what you
no.
wanted to say is that they knew what they were doing. They marketed that thing very well.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well,
you
oh, I
know,
know. It was about the your downline. Okay, it was all about getting in your downline and your leader there. And we touched on this a couple of times too in our AMAs. With the you don't have to worry about that with us because you're gonna get those automatic airdrops. No matter what team you're on, and that's very important as well. Because a lot of people got a lot of promises on their team leaders there, and maybe coming out of the box, they showed up some positivity to these guys that were underneath them. But as time went by and the project started slipping, what happened, right? You started losing those extra airdrops.
Then that's a great, great point. And it leads perfectly into one of our major first movers is our NTTs.
Yep.
Now, if you and we'll talk about the team aspect and how fair it is, because I think one thing, and we talk about other projects. Another project in the space, there's two projects that did really really good with their team aspects. But one was Furio,
Yep.
although it had some other issues, one of the great things about it is that it really benefited teams and team building. And I think
Yep.
that's something that we've added here. And then, unlike Furio and Drip, though, in Stack Hash, what we've done with these NTTs, we've made it possible for team leaders to get some rewards, but at the same time, just like you and I, just like all team partners, is based on participation, based on how well you do. There's not
Right.
an automatic 10% on your compounds. It's not an automatic anything. so you
Yep.
so you have to make sure that you participate in order to earn here. So very,
Yep.
very good points. Um, really quick, if you guys, if you were to look around the space and look at other projects around the space, one thing that you would see is that, you know, and not just in the DeFi space, you have to look at crypto. One thing that's very, very popular is two things. There's meme coins and there's NFTs. So if you have people that, if you look on Twitter, you'll see this. You have people that are very, very excited about NFTs that just keep ranting and raving about NFTs, this, that, and this and that. Well, one thing that we've done, and this is a first mover for how we've done it, is the NTTs, just like the NFT. However, it's not transferable. So once you have it, you have it. And some people are like, hey, well, how does that work? How does that work? Well, with an NFT, you have to wait for somebody to buy it, right? So it's just
Yep.
like owning a store. You fill the shelves up, but you have to wait for somebody to come and buy it.
Yep.
Whereas with us, it's kind of like our NTTs is essentially, especially if you get a board or a committee entity, it's like owning a stock or a share in the company of Stack Cash,
Yeah.
because you'll be able to earn from multiple different ways passively. And not
Yep.
just that, you can have your own individual franchise. So your team is like your own individual franchise that you can grow as large as you want to grow it. So
Yep.
our NTTs, this is what makes us a first mover in the space, is not only that, you can get rewarded from our board and our committee entity or treasuries, and that's another first move we'll talk about in a moment, though, because those don't exist right now. But also from your team entity. So I hope that kind of connected. Did that connect, guys? I don't know.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good.
Okay.
I, I
Yep.
think I think one of the things, maybe you were going to mention it, but the as the project has launched, that H board NTT that you can pick up um, by having an equal amount of the average of stack that the
Mm,
board has, if that makes sense, then you can gain that NTT. And the reason why we've done that really is so because we want those people who buy lots of stack, those whales that are able to bring in lots of money to the protocol to want to stay. We want to
right.
give them incentive to stay,
Yep.
and if they can keep that level of the average holding of stack, then they'll keep that NTT, which is then going to pay them passively
Right.
more stack. I think maybe that's my favorite first mover aspect of it, really, because we don't want people dumping,
Mm,
and we're going to try and do what we can to keep people in the protocol.
that's it. Good points.
Because you're a natural at this, man. Exactly, man. I didn't even think of H board NTTs. Yes, our H board NTT, which now I will say this: you do have an opportunity, because I do want to make sure we're clear on this. You know, and Littlefish was referring to after the stack launch and after the project's launch, you have an opportunity to still be an H board NTT holder. But
Hmm.
even right now, you have a chance to be an early adopter and get it permanently into your wallet. But Littlefish brought up some really good points. A lot of people are worried about whales, right? And this actually took a lot of thought from us to kind of figure out how do we make it, both incentivize whales to want to stay in the project, um, and decentivize, them from wanting to dump on the project, right? So to Littlefish's point, the H-board NTT, once that's connected to your wallet, um, you'll get extra rewards from the top treasury, the board treasury, as well as you'll be able to not need to dump because you'll be receiving so many extra stack tokens and also cash tokens.
Yep.
Now, pre-launch, right now, you have a very, very big opportunity. And I'll show the website again in a moment. But on our website, once we release it, and once we release, basically, the early seed phrase, you'll be able to, get this H-board NTT that essentially, like I just said, it'll be able to get you these rewards and all that other stuff. But after the launch, this is another thing that's really specific about it. It's built basically for other reasons, which is whale protection. So you have to actually hit a certain amount of stack that's held, and it'll be the average amount of all the other board entity holders and H board entity holders, in order to basically have your wallet be triggered to be a H board entity holder. So that's what Littlefish was referring to, and that is a great point. We're first movers for that.
Yep.
So you can lose that status as well. So if you dump, you'll lose it.
Right.
So
Yep.
that's a great point. Great point. All right, couple more. So yeah, so the NTTs is essentially, that's, to me, that's one of our best first mover advantages in the market, something that you haven't seen. However, something that's very feasible. And remember, guys, it's not, all brand new code or anything like that we're having for this stuff. This code essentially exists, but we're kind of editing it or changing it to fit exactly what is going to be best for all the users, for us.
Yep.
So that's essentially what that is. Now, really quick, I do want to run through this, because this is another thing that makes us first movers. We talked about NTTs and ownership. So if you want to simply put, NTTs allows you to own a part of Stack Cash. But some people might ask, how can I own? How can I own a part of this thing? Like, that doesn't make sense. Well, we have multiple treasuries, and we've come up with this plan of having multiple treasuries because it serves multiple purposes and all helps two things: the protocol and you as a user.
Mm,
So here are our built-in treasuries, And I don't want to go through exactly all of this whole page, but I do want to kind of talk through, how the entities actually get funded and how they get the extra additional rewards. So here you see the board treasury, and the board treasury is the third largest market participant. So when we say board NTT, it connects to this board treasury, the third largest protocol owned treasury, right? So nobody has access to that. It just does functions. People want to talk about AI. Well, that's our AI. The smart
Yep.
contract does the work.
Mm.
We also have a more now if you the board entity might be above some people. Some people say, hey, I'm not there yet. No big deal. We
Mm.
have another treasury, which is called a committee treasury. And with both of these, not only do you get rewards and you get to be a part of basically a first mover in how this protocol is ran, you also get voting privileges. Again, your
Yep.
voice matters. It's not just a group of guys in a room. This is all of us coming together to make this project adaptable and better over time.
Yep.
um, so we got the board treasury and the committee treasury, and then not only just that, we have another treasury which I don't haven't talked about much, but it is called the stack cash treasury, and the stack cash treasury essentially works for the protocol. It feeds the other treasuries. Without going into all the details about it, essentially it basically grows the committee treasury, board treasury, the regulator, and the stack generator. All these treasuries are fed from this one treasury as well. And ultimately, this is why we say, the stack token is going to be very valuable. You want to have as much of that stuff as you can and hold it in your wallet,
Mm.
because the larger that these treasuries grow, the less stack that'll be available on the market. And I'm sorry, guys, I'll let you guys jump in. I'm sorry for running my mouth so much. You guys know how I get when I talk about this stuff. Um,
Yep.
a lot of people talk about burns, and I know there's some other projects in the space that, oh, we're gonna burn, we're gonna burn, we're gonna burn. Um, and I will say, if you look at projects like SafeMoon, which I think is one of the original projects that has a reflection type token, but if you look at projects like SafeMoon and some other projects in the past, what has happened is, the burn is great when it's initially happening.
Mm.
But down the road, and this is why our protocol traders are, as a first mover, very important. But down the road, if someone gets access to those burn tokens, it essentially ruins the project. They get all those tokens and they dump them on everybody,
Yep.
and the entire project kind of suffers. Well, what we've done here is there only be 100 million stack tokens ever minted. There won't be any more minted. And the key is getting as many stack tokens as you can, because these treasuries are going to naturally, over time, create autonomous volume. And all that simply means is that, a lot of people ask, hey, do we need all this new money to come in for us to keep getting paid? Yes, we always want to get new users and onboard new people.
Yep.
However, if things were to even slow down or become just kind of like on a even playing field, just the same number of people, the project in the stack token continues to go up in value because of these protocol treasuries. These protocol treasuries essentially remove the stack tokens away from the liquidity which you can purchase on the dexes, and it either us as users are going to hold it, or these treasures are going to continue to get larger. And as that happens, you guys know what happens when something becomes more scarce. It becomes more valuable. So
Yep.
go ahead, guys. I'm sorry I'm talking so much.
You got it. You hit the nail on the head there. We were talking about that. Well, we were talking about them Air Jordans. You know how rare they are when they first come out. We still wish we had them, and that's just comparison right here.
Exactly. So that's another first mover for the Stack Cash protocol. And I keep trying to tell you guys, it's a team effort here. So it's a lot of thought that went in behind, okay, how are we going to figure out how to make this work?
Mm.
And now just that it benefits all of us users, and it can pay us well over time. Well, that's just on the stack side. That's something that's very important.
Yep.
Really quickly, while we might not, I don't even know if we're first users for this. So I don't know. But another thing, I know there's been projects that has fair launches, but our percentages that are going to go to different parts of the project is very, very clear. So excuse me, once the white paper is released, and you can also check it out. I believe it's in part 4 of All About Stack Hash. But you can also see that how we distribute the funds is very transparent.
Yep.
Everything that we do, we have devs that we have, that we're paying right now for their services, and we do that through a safe wallet, which there has to be multi signatures. It's actually we have a minimum. I think it's 5 signatures right now, and it could go up. So the main thing is not one person can trigger anything here. Every it's a reason why our board and committee is important, and this is part of the reason is because we want to make sure that it's fair for each and every one of you guys.
Yep. Yeah, I think it's a first mover myself. I haven't really dug into every project in the space, but I don't think I've seen something like this personally.
Good, man. Again, it's not simple. People, is it simple? It's not simple, but it's
No.
easy. It's
Right.
really easy to make gains, and it's easy to stay.
Yep.
And that's important. And again, this is kind of added on just how the stack token is going to be distributed after launch. You see that stack generator is basically is protocol owned, and it always hold over 50% of the tokens, over half of them. So automatically, we talk about 100 million stack tokens. Well, 50 million is always going to be owned by the stack generator. So, and I think Littlefish said he did a great job of saying this in one of his Medium articles. If you want to think about it, the people are splitting essentially 20 million after all the treasuries and everything else. The
Right.
people are splitting 20 million. Actually, it's less than that. Excuse me, 12.5 million stack tokens at the launch. So again, it's gonna get rare and rare. Like Vin just said, like those Michael Jordan sneakers. You're
Yep.
gonna want to make sure you hold some of this because it's gonna get more valuable over time.
Oh yeah. That sucker's going to be rebalancing quite soon, I would imagine, after takeoff.
Oh yeah, Vin. See now,
A lot of
you
people don't
get me
understand
talking about
that too.
rebalances.
Yeah. That's how a lot of people ain't clear about rebalances and stuff, So, but that's a big part of it right there.
And you know what? And let me try to do this in the cliff notes. So, Vin bringing up a great point. Not only will reflections be coming to all holders. So remember, you're a holder, your team treasuries. Just imagine how many different teams there'll be. They're all participants, and
Yep.
all of these protocol owned treasuries are actually market participants. So they all get some reflections,
Yep.
including you. So that that's just that's a part of it. But on the other side of it, we have some. Let me just show you guys. We have some additional features that you guys are like, wow, like you guys have a lot of first movers. Let me see. And I lost train of thought there, man, but I'll get it back in a second.
We was rebalancing.
Oh, rebalance. Yep. Thank you, Vin. Thank you. Yep. So talking about the rebalances really quick. That's what I was saying. So once this stack generator, this for an example, once that gets too large and it's approximately 50.5 million stack tokens, what it does, it sells its stack tokens. Now, some people say, hey, is that dumping on the market? No, it's not dumping on the market, because what happens here is it's actually making more stack tokens available for purchase. So that's how you essentially have to see it, because once it becomes rare, people are going to be waiting for the
Yep.
generator to rebalance, and
Right.
it basically puts more stack available for you guys to buy. And not only does it do that, one of essentially the main thing that it does is that it adds liquidity to the stack on PancakeSwap and on our DEX. So adding liquidity, so the value of the tokens will go up.
Yep.
And how much money and how much liquidity you have is always very, very important. So
Yeah, I'm always one of those people that waiting for that rebalance in some other projects. Keep an eye on that. It's important.
yeah, you know what, Vin? It's just gamification.
Yep. Yep.
And I think we even go a step beyond that, because each team treasury also rebalances. Now
Right.
that's on a every monthly basis. So once a month, each of you guys' team's treasury is going to have its own rebalance. Whereas it's literally doing what it says it's doing. It's rebalancing to making things a little bit even, making
Yep.
more stack tokens available. But in the team treasury sense, is actually giving you direct rewards. It's selling to give you the rewards. So
Yep. And that's when
Good
you'll
stuff.
see those candles, fluctuate a little bit there when that rebalance is happening on the charts.
Exactly. And I think the one thing that's special about, how Stack Cash works is that it's gonna go back up quick. Like,
Yep.
it's like
Yep.
that value, once you add that liquidity, and I don't want to get in, you guys know how market cap and all that stuff is created. But once that value is added back into liquidity, that price goes up. So
Mm-hmm.
good pieces
And
there.
just going back to the reflections as well there, and the team treasuries and all of those other treasuries that we've got, and all those, they're all the generator and the Stack Cash Treasury and the board treasury, they're all big holders of it. So they are getting lots and lots of reflections in, and they're really designed to hold them. They do distribute some of them, and that's what the benefit of being an NTT holder is. But they're designed to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and just suck in more and more as time goes on. And that is the thing that's going to make the price go
Mm-hmm.
go
Yep.
exponential. As time goes on, they're just gonna be locked away and not available.
Yep.
And that's the beauty of this project, really, is
Uh,
that there's so many treasuries that's going to be holding it there and not releasing it. And they're just designed to build more and more. It's beautiful, really. It's gonna
awesome
work.
point.
Well said, little fish. Well
Yeah.
said. You guys are on the
Very good.
ball,
Yep.
man. You guys are on the ball. All right. So just a couple more and I'll let you guys go. Let me get back to the screen. I got one more screen. I do want to kind of show again. I said we'll have the white paper available. So if you guys want to, take a look at the white paper and know what's going on, we will have that available very, very soon, especially after our last portion of All About Stack Cash comes out. We'll have that available to you guys. Also, if you're listening on a playback or anything like that, please feel free to hit the like and share this with someone else. These AMAs are built, it's literally an ask me anything. So anything you ask us either now or later, we'll be available to answer that and kind of help you guys out with that. So
Yep.
so we've talked about NTTs, we talked about H-board NTTs, we talked about reflection tokens, how we have our reflections. We talked about rebalances. We talked about our protocol treasuries.
Yep.
We talked about sweepstakes. We talked about CBC. So we've talked about all of these different things that are first movers in the DeFi space. You've never seen this before. However, again, it's simple. It's not simple, but it's easy stuff to understand, and it's easy stuff to make you gains. Last but not least, this is the last thing that I really want to kind of bring up as a first mover is our team treasuries. And this is very, very specific to us, and I'll talk through that in just a moment. Before I do, guys, give me just your general thoughts on these team treasuries and how we're functioning within the team aspect of Stack Cash.
For me, I think it's the whole thing of it being fair. As you said earlier, you kind of, in other projects, you're waiting for those airdrops to come. And if they don't come, then you're kind of stuck with that team and you can't move out. Whereas with Stack Cash, so you can move teams. If you're not feeling that you're getting many rewards, you can find a team, because hopefully the plan is that it's all going to be visual and you can see what other teams are earning. So you can join other teams, those bigger payouts. But again, it's got to be fair. So you've got to participate in it. You don't get it just for sitting there waiting for those rewards to come. Okay, I'm going to push that last Medium article I did. Stack Cash, is it fair? You kind of put in examples of those people that get into projects early, and they might only introduce a couple of people, and they get rewards from the people that they then introduce, and they introduce, so they could introduce 2 people, but they might end up getting rewards from 100 people because of the downline. Whereas with Stack Cash, it's not that. It's not that at all. You if you put in the work and you introduce those people, then you get all of their rewards, or you kind of share all of those rewards together. So it's about being fair, and that's what for me, I think as Muddy, you're the architect of this. This is what kind of drove you to bring this project together. Really, was to make it fair for everybody, because we're all fed up of just being dumped on.
Yep.
And we
I
don't want to
love
be
that plug though.
dumping.
Plug that Medium article, buddy. plug that
Yeah.
Medium article. I love that. Is it fair? I love that. Keep going. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's it. No, I mean that's it really. For me, that whole team treasury thing, it's about being fair
Yep.
and making sure that we all get an equal gains, and only those that participate and do the work are the ones that get rewarded, and the people sitting there doing not a lot anymore,
Yep.
they're just pushed to the side really.
I
Right.
love it. Love
Let
it. Go
me
ahead,
add
man.
to that.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, first of all, we're here because we want a fair project. That's one of the main reasons why we are here. Okay, because we just got fed up with it all, right? I mean, I know I did. So this is how it came to light to begin with. But to touch on what Little Fish just said, right now, being on a team, right? We all been on teams, most of us, anyways, right? And being on a team doesn't mean just you're on a team. It means you're also in competition. Okay, so because you want to earn that spot. Okay, like when I was growing up, I played ball, right? And I was telling Mo about this story. Like when I was a freshman in high school, it's like, we had a Gatorade Player of the Year and a shortstop in my high school, and I was like, I come out as a freshman, I said, "Hey, coach, I want to play for shortstop." He goes, "Well, you got to beat this dude out, and he's pretty damn good." And I'm like, "Well, that's why I'm here, because I'm here to compete." So, yeah, he might have had that spot, but guess what? I earned it. Why? Because I put in the time, I put in the work, and with Stat Cash and the team treasuries and being on a team, okay, you're going to be on a team, but hey, guess what? You can break off. You can get yourself your own team. You get 10 members, boom, now you got your own team right there. You earn that. Now you start earning the top rewards. But just because you're earning the top rewards doesn't mean you're always going to earn the top rewards, because remember, your teammates are competing with you as well every day, okay? And they might just want to move on. So, you want to have yourself a good teams. All that comes together and, have a great team, make a lot of money, and you can just grow and grow and grow.
I love that, man. I love that example too. You took that
Yep.
spot, did you, man? You took that spot. Yes.
I put the work in.
You put the work in, exactly. The main thing here, you know, is participate. Those
Yep.
who participate more and those who, put more into it on the team perspective, they're going to benefit the most. Most projects, and I think Vin was explaining what's called an MLM, mid-level marketing,
Yep.
or multi-level marketing, excuse me, where you have one team member and they're getting 10% of everybody's everything, and then they don't have to do anything anymore.
Right.
But to Vin's point, that if you're a team leader, we'll talk about what the team leader, some benefits of it, because you
Mhm.
want to grow a team if you
Yep.
if you don't mind being a team leader. However, it doesn't matter what team you're on, you're going to have competition through
Yep.
sweepstake with other teams first,
Yep.
and then even in-house to get the certain, and we'll talk about the reflections and the rebalances and all those extra rewards. But you
Yep.
have to compete on your team in order to get the most out of your own team treasury.
Yep.
So to Vin's point, I can be a team leader, but that doesn't mean if I don't do anything for a month, I won't be getting the gains that the rest of my team members are getting.
That's
So
right.
that's important to understand. This is fair all the way around, and you have to be a part of this thing. It's not no just come out like Vin said. You got a Gatorade All American over there. You got to earn your spot every single month, every single time,
Yep.
sweepstake every day. So I love
Yep.
that. So real quick, guys, and we'll end with this. But just for the team reward, so there's 6 different ways that you get paid. I'm sorry, there's 4 different ways that you get paid on a bi-weekly basis within any team. And then it's one way that you get paid on a daily basis. And this is a first mover for how we're doing this. Again, we're DeFi users. We understand you're going to be getting stack reflections. We understand you're going to be in Cashbox,
Mhm.
Cache, Sweepstake, and also CBC. But with CBC, with your team treasury in general, you have reflections. Also, with the team treasury, you also have rebalances. And then last but not least, with Cashbox, they all pay a percentage to your team treasury. So every deposit you have in a Cashbox, it feeds your team treasuries.
Yep.
And this is important because again, you'll be able to build that team treasury as big as you as large as you like it, right? So the more you work at it, the more you put into it, the larger it's going to get. And it pays on a bi-weekly basis. So after the first 14 days after your team's birthday, All team members, based on how much they have and they hold, will get reflections from their team treasury. And also, if you're a part of the CBC pools, they'll get their CBC pools payout from the teams, aside from what they automatically would get, right, on their own.
Mm-hmm.
And I know some people are like, "Hey, it's too teamy, too much team stuff." Well, even if you're not even interested in the team stuff, you just want to come compete on an individual basis, you'll be able to do that and earn on your own right.
Yep.
However, again, like we said, everybody's going to get airdrops whether you like it or not. And this is a first mover because it does not require our team structures don't require team leaders to need to airdrop you in order to make to give you extra gains.
Yep.
It's not relying on people. It's relying on the protocol, right? So it's the AI of the smart contracts and how it works.
Yep.
In the second 14 days, you'll be getting cash box payouts and also rebalance. So each team treasury rebalances. So these are all ways that you can just earn on your own right within the team. And the way we're doing it, and I'll talk because Littlefish brought up something about, I think Van did too, about breaking off teams. We'll talk about that in just a moment. But also with the daily sweep stack. Now, this is where you can work together with your team. And then not only just that, the competition you have within your team will help all of your entire team treasury grow with,
Mm.
with the sweep stack. And that's on a daily basis. The 24-hour timer will end every time, every day at the same time. So with sweep stack, it's an individual sweep stack, which you can do on your own. And there's also the team sweep stack, which we talked about before. This is where you
B&B.
get direct B&B.
Ooh.
So if it's a pot, right? Your team wins on the day. It's a pot that you split, and how much of that pot of B&B you get is based on how much you actually participated that day.
Yep.
So a lot of layers and a lot of ways that you can earn. A lot of ways. Now, last but not least, although we're not MLM, um, we talked about being a team leader and how it's beneficial to grow because we want the project. We want you to tell your family about it. As DeFi veteran myself, I got into being an influencer because I wanted to let people know about the greatness of, passive income and how DeFi could help. So we want you to spread the word. And as a team leader, as long as you're participating, there is a small percentage that you get from all the portions under the team aspect. So I talked about CBC. I talked about Cashbox. Those all have specific, team leader percentages. So I think it's 5% for most of these
Yep.
that you can get as long as that team leader participates. And that's just off of that rewards for that month. So it's not a constant thing. It's not automatic to them. They have to participate.
And get yourself an NTT. Couple yourself with that, right? Oh yeah.
Exactly. And I'm glad you brought that up, Vin, because to be a team leader, because some people say, hey, okay, so what do I need to be a team leader? How much does it cost? And do I have to get a
Mm.
pay and this and that? Well, the NTTs to be a team leader is triggered. So all you need to do is get 10 team partners, and then you will permanently be leading your own team treasury. So that's how you can become a team leader because, again, it pays to really, really focus on the team aspect here because that's how you get your additional rewards, right?
How about having a team NTT, a committee NTT, and a board NTT? Ho 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 ho. How about that Nas kicking in right there?
Yes, I'm glad you said that. So you can have multiple entities, and the board entity. If you just say if you had the board entity and you had a team leader entity, you're getting additional rewards on top of what everybody else could get in the protocol. Right. So some people are very infatuated with just getting tokens and trying to dump a token, and that's
Mm.
kind of how we've been trained to be.
Right.
But with Stack Cash, it actually benefits you to stay and participate because you'll make more gains through the extra rewards through, just like Vin said, through those NTTs. And especially if you're a team leader, you'll make even more rewards.
Oh yeah.
So yep, go ahead.
No, I'm just like, oh yeah.
Yep. Last but not least, guys. So we talked about first movers today. This is probably the last first mover, but this is not around the space. So some people are afraid, like, hey, there's going to be some teams that's going to just dominate. They're going to get all the daily sweep stack. They're going to just do everything and this is going to blow everybody out. And in other projects, you've seen this happen from time to time. Without going too much into it, what I will say is number one, that all team partners, so me, you, anybody that's in the DAO, that's in the project, can change teams. So if your team is unsatisfactory, they're not participating, and you're not seeing gains that you want for how much you're participating, excuse me, you can change teams um, without a hitch very, very easily.
Yep.
Also, there's something called a parent team, and you can create your own migrating team. So let's just say you only have 4 people that you know, and you're still working on growing your own team treasury. But while you're doing that, you have to be a part of another team. So you'll be a part of a parent team. But once you get your 10 people, right, to have your own treasury and your own team, you guys are ready, you will do what's called a migrate from that original team, and your team will be separate from that other team. So that previous team will have nothing to do with the new rewards that you guys will start building in your new treasury. So this is something that's specific to Stack Cash. Nobody does this. So it essentially makes sure 2 things. It makes sure that not one team gets too large, right? So you don't have one team that's just constantly getting larger and larger and just stacking the deck against everybody. Not only just that, it gives you time to build your team and to talk about Stack Cash and to tell a family or friend. Some people say, "Hey, I'll wait until the end of the summer to whatever to get in." Well, it
Yeah.
gives you time for them to join under you, and you can actually go out and create something of your own value, and you guys can grow that as you like. Go ahead,
Yep.
guys. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Nah, good points. Yeah. Go ahead, little fish. Take it away.
I was just thinking, it kind of also brings in an element of gamification, because if you're on a good team, you're earning good rewards. You want to build your team, but at the same time, you don't want to lose what you're getting. So you could just stop referring people after 9, and then build up another team on another wallet. And then that be your own team. Or you might not want to move away from that first team that you're on, and you don't have to. You can just start a new wallet, build up that team, and then you start your own NTT from there. But it's kind of, you just got to look around and see, is it beneficial to actually make a new team, or should I stick with this one?
Right.
I love that you said that. I
You
love
can
that you
jump
said that.
into other teams as well. You don't have to just give up your team. You could,
Exactly.
again, just a new wallet, and away you go, really. Because it
Strategy.
does mean you've got to sort of spread your participation, but
Yeah.
it's just figuring out what's best for you.
We talked about that last week, Mo. Their strategies. I was talking about that. Another wallet, so in my cash box, that's paying out my dividends here and there, So yeah, good strategy. Good point, little fish.
I love that y'all said that, because I think, again, this is a first mover, because I don't think any other project even openly talks about having multiple wallets.
Right.
Stack Hash, we're DeFi users. We get it. we know you guys, are going to do what's working best for you, and that's what we want. And to Little Fish's point, it might not be beneficial for you to grow a separate team treasury all the time. You might just grow up to 10 and just have that.
Yep.
Whatever works best. But you have to remember, it's all gamification, because, while you have a new migrating team, it might be more beneficial because that parent team might have a large treasury and you're getting great rewards from it. You might not want to lose those rewards. So
Right.
I love that. That is that is definitely some great points, guys. And that's what makes us first movers and makes us different over here at Stack Cash.
Yep.
I don't think anybody has, that, and I think that's something that we can take to the space, and I think we can be proud that we offer something so fair to the users, as well as fair to the protocol. Some projects, it's hard to find a balance sometimes, but that's something that we've tried to accomplish here. Is something, first off, that helps DeFi users, and then on top of that, that helps the protocol stay sustainable.
Yep.
So that's very, very, very good stuff, guys.
Yeah, I got a strategy. I was thinking maybe coming out of Cashbox 50%, buying Stack, 50% compounding it, or maybe going to CBC, obviously, too. But the money that I'm going to take, the other 50% of that's going to buy Stack, boom, I'm going to send that 50% to another wallet. So I'm going to stop building up my other Stack wallet. You know what I'm saying? So I'm earning that out of Cashbox. I'm buying Stack with it into my other wallet.
I like that, Vin. Now, this is another thing I love about how we are, because we're bored. So we all have different strategies. My strategy, I'm gonna be honest. I think I'm gonna keep the team muddy. I'm gonna grow that thing. I'm gonna just keep it there. You know. Now, when we get to a certain point, we might go ahead and do another wallet. But for me, I want to stay there, and I want to grow my stack as much as possible. And I want Team Muddy to. I want new teams to come from Team Muddy. So, so I'm okay with you migrating from my team. I'm okay with that. But yeah, I think that's my strategy. So, Little Fish, have you thought of any strategies?
No, not really. I just the thing is, I think you just got to see what happens, isn't it? Because there might be some really nice teams out there that are getting some juicy gains, and I think jump in on those ones because I don't know a lot of people that are in DeFi, personally, and you talk to people about it, and some people get on board and some people don't, but it's that thing of I don't know. We just see what happens, really.
Yeah, I mean, coming out of Cashbox as well too. You go into that cache, you grow it a little, you send that over to another wallet. Boom, you compound that. Now you're into the sweepstakes. You got a couple of wallets in your sweepstakes, and who knows what could happen? And boom, you can hit it twice, right?
Yeah, and really, that's another thing I like about Cashbox is that there's lots of options for you to choose from when you've unboxed your rewards. So it's kind of it's not just I think you mentioned it last week, really, sort of not going in, you either compound or you withdraw. That's it. There's just two options, and it gets a bit boring, doesn't it? I think with the Cashbox, you're gonna have choices, and it's not going to be the same every time. I mean, it may be. You might just want to go into CBC all the time, or you might just want to take your rewards and make sure you ROI and that be that. But I think because there's other things that you can do, and we're still trying to work out more options as well, because as you say, as DeFi users, we know what we like, and we know what we you want the options. It's kind of your rewards, your options. That's the thing, really.
Absolutely.
I love that. Now, real quick, I just want to point this out. See, this is the beauty of Stack Cash. This is why it's so great to have multiple different people and personality types and different traits. So we had 3 different strategies right there. We had Vin's strategy, my strategy, and Little Fish said, hey, I don't know what I want to see what happens, because I might have to join another team. I don't know as many people, and that's okay. That's fine. I might join a team that I might see coming up that's doing great. I love that. And that's why we have this project, for that exact reason. There's not just one way to skin a cat. So thank you guys. I think that is just phenomenal. And I thank you guys for joining me. This was the 8th Stack Cash AMA. We'll be back next Saturday. Also, just a bit of alpha before we let you guys go. 2 things. Number 1, if you're in the Telegram, stay tuned. We'll have a vote coming. It'll be actually our first official vote that we do outside of the board and committee. So all DAO members will be able to actually vote on when they think what time we should do the Stack Cash AMAs. So please stay tuned for that. That is some alpha. So please stay tuned for that. That's going to be very, very exciting. Also, we're going to have our All About Stack Cash Part 7, which is our final rendition to the All About Stack Cash white paper series. So please be on the lookout for that. And last but not least, as always, make sure you hit the like here, hit subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. We're on Twitter, Discord, YouTube, Telegram, and I hope I didn't forget something. All right, guys, you have any last words? Anything else you want to talk about?
No, I just wanted to say, all the fathers out there, make sure you all have a great Father's Day, everybody out there, and have a great rest of the weekend, and keep coming back to check on us at the Telegram, like Mo was just saying, and Discord. And even if you have a question and it's not for a VC or something, you just post it in there, talk to one of the officials and say, hey, I got a question. You can meet up with me on the side. Gladly we'll do that for you. So absolutely come see us.
Well said. Little Fish, we appreciate you coming on, man. Do you have anything else you want to leave with the people?
Not really. I guess it's been a long ride to this point already. It's We still don't have a launch date, but we're going to get there. And you know, when we are there, we're going to be ready for it, because you know, that's what, as you're saying earlier, it's a lot of work goes into a project like this, but we're going to make sure that we do it right.
Yep.
So
What's that story, Mo? The cow running down the hill. What's that? What's that again?
Don't get me started, man. Don't get me started. We're gonna walk down, and and I think to sum it up, we're gonna walk down to Vin and Little Fish's Point, and we're gonna cut 3 times. I'm sorry, we're gonna measure 3 times to cut once.
Mm-hmm.
And we want to encompass all of DeFi. And I didn't talk about this, but our CBC contract also allows us to partner with your favorite DeFi projects. So if you have a favorite right now, they also have an opportunity to be a part of Stack Cash.
Yep.
So thank you guys. And to kind of sum up what you guys just said, you know, that's what we are. This is, you know, we're moving methodically, and we're taking our time, and it's going to be done right. But the main thing is this is all about community. So again, we thank you guys for joining us, and please feel forward to look forward. We have a VC that's be coming up this Wednesday. So if you're interested, please feel free to come to Discord or the Telegram, and we'll have more information on that. But if that's it, we'll talk to you guys next time. Thanks for joining us.
Have a great weekend, everybody.
See you
Happy
all.
Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day.
Yeah.